What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Measy Show. I'm your host with the most. Now, before we begin, please hit that subscribe and that like button for me. Let me know that you're a true citizen, a true follower, a true supporter of the channel, if you will. Okay, now, without further ado, right, let's get into today's topic, okay? So, today's topic is, why should I move to Vegas? Or should you not move to Vegas? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and shed a little bit of light, right, on some of the pros and the cons of living in Las Vegas, Nevada, okay? There's a lot of each, right? It's not the perfect place. A lot of people think that it's just this perfect place. Yes, it's very cheap, okay? Number one, obviously, that's like the biggest. Most people coming from California, that's their biggest perk or pro, whatever, is the cost of living. When I was there, I viewed a 2-bedroom apartment, okay? The 2-bedroom apartment, it was in the hood and it wasn't like super nice, but nevertheless, the 2-bedroom apartment was going for $975 a month. $975 is very, very cheap in terms of West Coast, California style living in any major city, right? You're not even going to get that in the desert of California. You're not going to get that in Palm Springs. You're not going to get that in I don't even think you're going to get that cheap in Barstow, to keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, Vegas has a population of about 600-something thousand permanent residents, right? The permanent residents are not even like totally permanent, if you want my personal opinion. They're people who end up there and then they stay a while, and then whatever happens, they go back to where they came from, where they try their next venture. A pro, okay? Besides that, it's not big. It's not big, okay? So with it not being big, you got the gas, or excuse me, you got the, from, let's just say, I'm right here. Let's just say, let me think of a good, basically anywhere you're going to get there in 30 minutes or less. Anywhere, right? And they don't have a great freeway system either. So let that be known too. Like a lot of people say that about LA, but LA's huge. But the LA has a very extensive freeway system. They don't have that in Vegas. They got the 15, the 215. And there's like a couple little BS little highways that are not like big. Yeah. So everything is close. Even the outside parts are close to Vegas, right? The outside parts are even close to Vegas. The parts that are not Vegas, not technically Vegas, right? So yeah, that's definitely a plus. Everything's close. The gasoline prices. The gasoline is low. It's a lot lower than California. The state of Nevada has cheap gas. I wouldn't advise you to get gas if you're coming in from Southern California on the 15. I would not advise you to get gas in this town called Primm. Primm is the first place. I have a friend that smokes cigarettes, and he went to go because California, they don't allow menthols, so he wanted to get some menthols when we was going there, and they was like $200 for a carton. Like, that's like California price, but they know it's the first place coming in. They know that's what it is. The gas is a lot more there as well, but once you're in Vegas, gas is cheap, bro. It's like, I mean, of course it fluctuates, but if it's $5 here, it's going to be like $4 there, maybe even like $3.80. So that's definitely a plus, right? Another plus, okay? Another plus is if you're looking for any type of like employment or job or anything like that, there's a lot of employment opportunities over there. There's a lot. Everything is, it's all about business there. So as long as you go look, you're going to find something. The casinos, there's a lot of casino jobs. I can't count how many people I met where they work at this casino, they work at that casino, they work at the MGM, they work at the Circus. They're everywhere. You get what I'm saying? Now, it has grown a lot, right? So it's not the small little desert town it once was. I was talking to this Ethiopian dude that I know, And he was telling me, he was like, yeah, man, I remember back in the day, like in like I want to say like late 90s, apartment was like $300-400. You know what I'm saying? Like a little studio, 1 bedroom, easily $400. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, that's crazy. He said back then they was dying for people to come work for them. Now it's a little bit more like organized. You know what I'm saying? Okay, put your resume, your application, whatever, and then come, you understand me, interview, the whole regular process. So you will more than likely go through a process of elimination, but nevertheless, it's not hard to get employment in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay. What else? For the men. So coming from a place, any place with like expensive rent and high cost of living, the women are going to be less available for the men, right? So what I mean by that is this. Let's say, for example, me, I'm an older gentleman, right? So let's say, example, women in their 30s and maybe early 40s, they all 9 times out of 10 have kids at this point, right? And maybe a failed relationship or two, or however many, right? So you don't have time to play around. You don't have time to there's no, like, your rent's for you and your kids is damn $2,500. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say if you making $20 an hour, what's that? 24, 6, 160 a day before taxes, right? 160 a day, so 1,600 every 10 days. Yeah, it's just, you're not making it. You get what I'm saying? You're making it, but you're barely making it. You get what I'm saying? A 2-bedroom out here is going for 2,000 something, and that's not even in. You know what I'm saying? It's expensive. So with that being the case, it's not doable. It's not attainable. So let's put yourself in the position of a single mom or a woman, right? That's doing it by yourself. You don't have time for nothing else. You get what I'm saying? They in their mind, they're like, if you ain't finna come rescue me, I'm about to go to work. I don't got time. Now, let's transition over to the mindset of the women in Vegas. The women in Vegas, they're thinking more like, it's all good. They just want companionship. Keep it real with you, I'll be honest. A lot of the women in Vegas, from what I saw, they want to wife you. What I mean by that is basically you ain't got to really do too much. You know what I'm saying? You ain't like what women in California will tell me, oh, you ain't doing enough, and you don't do this, and you don't do that, and you ain't doing this, and right? What you getting nagged for? Those dudes, they'll do great in Vegas, 100%. Like all you gotta do, just give them a little attention, right? Maybe feed them from time to time, and you know what I'm saying? Go and do what you do with them. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't take a lot to keep them happy. You get what I'm saying? Matter of fact, the majority of the men out there, if I'm being totally honest, no disrespect, but from what I saw, the majority of the men in Vegas, the locals, when I say, I don't mean like you come and you end up there from the Bay, or you came from the Seattle. No, you came from LA, Milwaukee, Chicago. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is, the majority of the men that are from Vegas, they really kind of like, and I don't know, they might get mad, I'm gonna just say, right? They kind of just, they ain't really, don't got nothing going on. You feel me? They're not looking too fresh. They're not looking too clean. They looking, as long as they got like a little blunt to smoke and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 baby moms to sleep at their house, they cool with that. You get what I'm saying? They don't have really no complaint. Like the average dude out there, I'm telling you, I've seen it. He might have 2-3 baby moms. No type of job, income, no, he ain't trapping, he ain't nothing. You feel me? No type of nothing. He just kind of ping pongs between them. He might every now and then, you feel me, like bust a move for $200, whatever. The girls is holding them up. I'm trying to tell you, I seen it myself. So anyway, not to get too off into that, but yeah, the women are if you're coming from like a high rent, a high economic place where the rent is expensive, any type of New York, any type of Seattle's, any type of San Diego's, any type of Los Angeles's, you understand me? Any type of Bay Areas, anything like that. The women are so available, it's ridiculous. I met this one, I think he was a Northanian or something like that. He's from the Hayward, I think, right? Anyway, I met him, I'm talking to him, and he was like, yeah, man, he's like, yeah, man, there's so many women. And I'm talking, oh, yeah, you been, I asked him, I said, oh, yeah, you been, you know what I'm saying, you been busting them down? He said, bro, he said, in the last month, I probably did about 40 girls. I said, oh, my God. I said, man, I hope you, you know what I'm saying, I hope you putting on that. He said, he was like, I did after the first 20. Okay, so you probably got HIV about, oh my God, you feel me? So look, anyway, they readily available, right? They're readily available. They're very available, and it doesn't take like a lot. Now, the biggest thing out there would be this. The biggest thing out there, when you're meeting them, they want you to live there. That's one of the biggest. If you see them in the street, like, hey, what's that in? You know what I'm saying? What to do? Right? You jabbing them, yeah, you're good. It's easy. I'm sure. Like, you won't have a problem, right? Now, as far as any type of those apps or anything like that, where you're meeting women and blah, 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 they want you. That's the number one thing that was on a lot of those profiles. So I've heard, right? Is yeah, you got to be local. You got to be from here. You get what I'm saying? So that's a big one right there, right? 100%, that's a big one. Women are very, very available. You get what I'm saying? Now, the women we'll put that in the cons. But anyway, yeah. So the women is very available. Another pro, right? You one person. You can do it all. You can get you one. You could just go out there, man or woman, go out there, get a job, a regular job, $20 an hour or something, and you got a 1-bedroom apartment. You pay your bills, and you straight. You're not depending on nobody. You got a few dollars left over. You can work with it and make, whatever you do, right? You can do that. You don't have to worry so much about not making it, right? What's another good one? Business owners. Okay, so let's talk about this. Business owners. It's very easy to start a business out there. There's no state tax, okay? There's no state tax, so you don't get taxed by the state, okay? Now, I'm sure there's federal and this and that and the third, but there's no state tax. Now, what they want you to do sometimes, if it's in a super desirable area, they'll want 3 months rent up front, right? And they want you in a 1 to 3 year lease. There's no month to month. I know business thing out there. But you can go around and you can maybe go somewhere in the hood somewhere and, fandangle and figure it out from there, right? So there's that. It's very easy to start a business if you would like to, okay? Now, let's see. That's a very good one. Let's see what else. Anything that's off of the strip area, well, that's more of a con. Okay, so let's talk about the cons now, okay? So, all right. Number one. Remember I was talking about, this is my number one gripe about that place. For sure. Remember I was telling you there's no state tax, right? So there's no state tax. So, being that there's no state tax, the police got to figure something out. So, Vegas has about 600 and some thousand residents, and they have one of the biggest police forces in the nation of America, the United States of America, our beautiful country. They have one of the biggest police forces, and there's only 600,000 some people there. Now, understandably so, that they do have a heavy police force, maybe a little bit more than usual, than normal, than what's expected for something that size, because it's the most visited place probably in America, right? it's a like millions and millions and millions of visitors come there every single year. I don't know how many millions, but tens, perhaps hundreds of millions of people come there every year. Okay, so, and it's all year round too. So that's a big one why they have it. But on the other hand, they're very thirsty. They love to. They don't follow the rule. They don't follow the rules. They're okay. Look, put it like this: when you go there, if you're from like a democratic blue state, where from your personal experience you have like rights, and like me, for example, right? I'm from Seattle. When you go and you're driving somewhere and you're doing something suspicious, right? You get pulled over, or you're not even doing something, but you, whatever, they say you suspicious. They say, can we search the vehicle? If you say yes, you have to sign something that says you said you could. If not, you feel what I'm saying? If not, they can't search your vehicle. They cannot search your vehicle. You dig what I'm saying? They can't do it. And that's a big place on rights. Now, they had to do this because Seattle police are very corrupt, and Department of Justice investigated them. But at the end of the day, they have to do that, okay? California, they're not, especially like San Diego, Los Angeles, look here. They ain't too, you know what I'm saying? They're not worried about it. You got license insurance. You don't have insurance, get up out of here. You feel me? As long as you ain't got no guns, get up out of here, right? That's the big thing, guns. So over there, they don't follow the rules. The police don't really so much follow the rules. They're very petty, okay? I'll give you an example. One of the biggest crimes one of the biggest crimes that's charged out there is doing business without a license. So this means if a couple of paisas, which is, I seen it happen, if a couple paisas, they just want to make a little money for their family, pay the rent, maybe, you know what I'm saying, go to the Vallarta, whatever they want to do, just making an honest living, right? They just making an honest living, selling a couple of bottles of water on the strip, they go to jail. They will go to jail. And I've seen it happen. You get what I'm saying? I've seen that happen before. If you smoking a blunt in public, for those people that smoke weed, you'll go to jail for that. You're gonna go to jail for that. Now, mind you, the majority of the stuff that I'm telling you is on and around the strip. Okay, so anywhere like Tropicana, Decatur, like all those types of areas. When you go far out, like North Vegas, East Side, West Side, it'd be some police in West Side because it's real slimy over there. But Henderson, Summerlin, all of them, it's a little bit different. Okay, so yeah, the police are very, very, very petty, and they're very, if I might say so, they're very behind. They're for lots of better words, they're dumb. You know what I'm saying? All they have, they're not slick because they don't need to be. This is, you know what I'm saying? My town, boy. You know what I'm saying? You're not in the Wild West. You're in the mountain town. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so the police are real petty. So you can better believe that for whatever, if you're on and around the strip, for whatever reason, if they get behind you, and for some reason they target California plates. I mean, not for some reason, obviously, because California has all the, you know what I'm saying, all the illicit stuff coming from there, so they say. So, but whatever. Okay, so the police. Another con. So, remember I was talking about the women. The women can be, they're very attainable if you want them, right? They can be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? So Vegas is kind of like ghetto, and it's like in outside of the certain parts that you're in, right? So if you northeast, you know, semi-west, you're gonna be pretty much any north, east, west is all the hood. So you got the strip, you're north. You understand me? You got east, you got west. That's all the hood. South is like Henderson and stuff like that. But northeast, west is pretty much like the hood. There's not the like there. When I say the hood, I don't mean like people like it's not that bad, but it's the hood, especially the west. But the east too. The east too. When I was there was a triple murder that happened right up the street from where I was at. A girl and two dudes, I think, if I'm not mistaken, had got you know what I'm saying, what knocked off over there. So, but it's a lot of murders over there. There's 200 murders a year approximately, and there's only 12,000 something people in the state prisons. That lets you know they're not really charging the murders like that. But if you're smoking weed, yeah, you're going to jail. Imagine that. Okay, so the women could be a little bit. They just not. Some of them is not that polished. You get what I'm saying? Some of them ain't as polished as maybe you would be used to. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like some parts of California, maybe even chicks in the hood, they might have a couple little pieces on, and you know what I'm saying? They might have a nice little hairdo and some J's and whatever. They're polished. They're like, they got a little drip about themselves. In Vegas, it's kind of like some real poverty in some places. Even though it's like, it's so cheap, but I mean, the communities that you come from, sometimes it's hard to launch out of that. So yeah, so women could be not so polished sometimes. That's a con. What's another con? A lot of dudes from Vegas, they low key be hating on you, cause you gotta think, if you come through, you're shining. You from somewhere else. You understand me? You're riding not something decent. You're riding anything at all, really. Some of these fools ain't got a car. I'll be honest with you. You're riding something decent. And I'm not punning Vegas. Like, there's some dudes out there who are really out there, like, getting money. I'm just saying it's not like a lot of them. I'll just be totally honest with you. You get what I'm saying? You riding something nice. You look nice. You doing your thing. They don't like that. You know what I'm saying? You over here. You're knocking off their broads. They don't. Damn. Did you have to? Can you park any closer to my car? What's wrong with you? Yeah. So, anyway, yeah. The dudes be low-key hating on you, right? That's a big one. That's a real big one, okay? Another one. The roads. They'll spend a lot of money on all those buildings out there and all the different little areas that they got, but the roads are all trash. They're all bumpy. There's potholes, cracks. They're uneven. I don't know if it's the weather or what, but the roads really suck. They're bad, right? They're not good, okay? So the roads, that's another one. The roads, you might mess around and crack a rim out there if you're not careful, right? Okay, the roads, they're not that good. What's another con about that place? Another con about that place. You got to do everything by the book over there. If you're, like, as a business owner, I would do everything by the book. They have a task force for everything. There's a task force for people spinning donuts in parking lots. That's not a joke. That's being serious. There is a task force for people spinning donuts in parking lots. Okay? There's a task force for people selling weed. There's everything that you can think, they have a task force for it, right? So yeah. So they're kind of petty, but they're not worried about anything that has to do with their money. They are big on that, right? But they're not really focused as much on the hoods as they are focused on the strip and around the strip. Okay. What are some more cons about Vegas? Let's see. Insurance, car insurance. It's expensive. If you're coming from California, you can believe you're gonna. If you're paying $50, $60 in California, you're gonna pay probably something about like 100 and something, 150, 160, if you're lucky. I got lucky. I went through some place when I was there that I want to say there was like $80 a month if you pay X amount of head, whatever. I did that. I jumped on that, and that was cool. That was sufficient for me. But insurance is expensive. Okay. If you are, for not everybody watching this, but I'm sure some people, if you are a felon over there, if you are a felon in Las Vegas, or not even Las Vegas, the state of Nevada, you have to register as a felon. Okay, so every other place that I have been, basically you just only people register as like chimos and stuff like that, right? People that do weird stuff. No, any felony. If you have any felonies and you go to Nevada and you're there 48 hours, you have to register as a felon. Okay. Yeah, that's what they do. And that's like their last little resort. If they can't get you on nothing, they'll get you on that, right? What else? Well, I don't really know much more. I'm just sitting here thinking like I don't really know much more. So yeah, there's probably a lot more. But then again, I'm not as experienced with the place. I wasn't there for like ever. I just was there for a little, instead of me short amount of time. So that's just a starter pack. So if you're planning on moving to Vegas or you're thinking about maybe visiting to move, what I would advise you is go visit like a couple times, like 2-3 times. Get familiar with it. See, I went one, like I've been a handful of times, but I went once for a preview to live there. And I kind of was like, yeah, this is player. You know what I'm saying? This is cool. Like, you can just chill. You ain't really got to do too much. It's low key, blah, blah, blah. When I went, I noticed a lot of other problems that I didn't care for. So yeah, visit a few times. Visit but do like a, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Do like a extended stay, like maybe 7 days. Go to all the little places. Go to north, go east, go west, go. You know what I'm saying? Do something like that. Do that like twice. You can get it cheap. There's a lot of monthly apartments out there. So if that's what you want to do, you can get a cheap monthly apartment for like, I want to say like $350 a week or something like that for like a little studio. So it's doable. You know what I'm saying? It's doable. Yeah, but check it out, man. Check it out and see if you like it. Anyway, let me know what you think about this video in the comments. If it's a go, give me a thumbs up. And if you have not already, please subscribe. If you don't like it, tell me, hey, bro, you're whack. This is why. Put it in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching. Y'all have a good afternoon. Salute. I'm gone.